The next morning she wakes up, she doesn't know where the kitchen is. She doesn't know she's allowed to eat breakfast because food is not common in our house. She goes to a strange school with strange students. She's given math, a book to read, spelling words. She goes to the cafeteria. Everybody's laughing. She thinks they're laughing at her because she's now a foster child. She's walking in the hall. Someone bumps into her. Her books spill everywhere, and she screams out, "I want to go home!" That is how it is for a child placed in foster care. You can put aside all the abuse and the anxiety and trauma. It is a time of great trauma being placed into a home like mine. They are full of questions. They are afraid, and they don't know.
Funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you. I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very bad. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. And to feel the way that every child should sit and listen, sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson. Look right through me, look right through me. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to
So they tend to really only move schools when they move homes, and it really depends on the placements that they're in. So sometimes the placements are more kinship placements where they're placed with family and friends, and sometimes they're unknown to the child. Particularly when a child is getting ready to move back home with the biological family, they will move schools. They usually try to wait until they're closer to the end of a semester to ease that transition, but it's not always that clean or that great. So really the question depends on how often the child moves homes, which can be 1 time a year, 2 times a year, 6 times. It really just depends on that child and how often they end up being moved in the system. The kid out of the classroom or work with them in the classroom depending on their age. The younger they are, the more appropriate it is for us to be in the classroom and help with monitoring and coaching through some of their behaviors and challenges they encounter. So usually I talk with the teachers once a week, twice a week, depending on the child's needs. The more high need they are, the more communication we tend to have. We tend to try to pull them out of specials or lunches or recess if need be to kind of make sure that they get all their core classes in. And then I also tend to work really closely with the school's guidance counselors and helping them find interventions that work for that child so that when I'm not there, they know how to work with that child individually and provide appropriate care. A couple of things. So one of the major things is kids feeling ostracized from their peers. So a lot of the times these children come into a school and they are in a classroom full of other children that don't have trauma, and then other children don't know how to help their peers when they have trauma. I've seen kids have explosive outbursts in the class and then they get bullied for it later on. And that tends to be one of the biggest things is that social challenge of how to talk about what they've experienced and how they can still have friends and maintain friendships long term.
Yeah.
Educationally, they tend to get a little bit more behind in their schoolwork as well because they have trauma and they aren't focused on learning how to do their math or learning how to read at their peer level. They still have to go to therapy appointments and skills training appointments and visitations after school. So it doesn't leave a whole lot of time for homework all the time. That's a big challenge for them. Mentioned is to be more trauma informed when possible and learning how to manage childhood trauma in the classroom and not bring attention to it when necessary. So one thing that I can see teachers doing is getting more trainings, reading about how to be trauma informed and how to incorporate that into the classroom.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. I thought I'd leave you with one more tip before we go. I call them the B's because you should be keeping them in mind to always be understanding, be flexible, be their role model, and become their advocate because they always need someone fighting in their corner for them. Thanks.